Hello everybody, I've popped out on a sunny Friday afternoon today and we're on Cleveleys Beach. It's a while since we came down here. So we're going to have a walk on Cleveleys Beach and on the seafront, and this is going to be the video for Saturday morning. And I have a feeling that by Saturday morning it could well be raining, because the weather forecast for the next few days is, well, back to normal, shall we say. So I've drawn a masterpiece on the beach for you. Hello. And I've been stood here waiting for, there's a cloud. Are you ready? I'm going to blind you. There's a cloud just over the sun. So as that disappears, hopefully it will become more sunny. And it is quite blowy actually. I've had to put a cardigan on. It's preposterous. It's the first time I've had a cardigan on in a week. In fact, I've been begging for mercy because it's been so hot. It's been absolutely rammed down here. It's been full of people. When I say rammed, I mean in a good way, in a socially distanced, everybody keeping away from one another kind of way. But it's been a bit of an eventful week at Rabbit Towers. So while we're just walking up to this other little bit of seafront, I'll just tell you our little bit of news. You need to read. I don't know whether you read Chrissy's blog, but Chrissy is my mum, and she writes on our Visit FYLDE Coast website, and writes quite an entertaining blog about all the mad cat things that happen in our house. So she's writing about it. I'll let you read that, and then I don't spoil the surprise. But you'll have probably seen that I've been wearing a splint on my wrist because I've had a lot of wrist pain for a long time. Well, yesterday I twanged it. I pushed some stuff in the cupboard and I screamed. You read the story on my mum's blog, but let's put it this way. Here's my boxing glove. This is a new one, and you might just be able to see that I've got a ruler stuck down the back of it to stop it from bending. It's really painful, so I'm not sure how I'm going to go on driving for the next few days. So we might be seeing quite a bit of Cleveleys Beach, or not if it throws it down. We might have to think of plan B. So, nonetheless, it's been here we go. Here comes the sun. That's a cue for a song. Here comes the sun. Oh, rewind. I'm just going to pick this piece of glass up before some poor unsuspecting child stands on it. I mean, obviously, it's not actually too bad. It's not bad at all, that. We'll bury it. We'll bury it in this little hole here that a doggy's dug. Because obviously the sea glass that we pick up all turns into those beautiful little sea-like jewels from broken bottles that have entered the sea by fair means or foul. So, boiling. It's been boiling. We've been begging for mercy in our office. It's been so hot. We've had every window open in the house, and windows that we've forgotten did open. And this morning I've been going around wiping all the little midges up. You get loads of little sandflies coming in when you live so near to a beach, which is a bit obvious really, isn't it? But nonetheless, you've got them all to pick up then, or wipe away. Nice little convenient gap in this groin here, so we're going to go through the middle. I've got my super duper comfy beach shoes on, so it's not quite as precarious as it looks, but if I fall on this bad wrist, we are blessed. Right, so yesterday it was the 13th. Another piece of glass here. What's to do like today? I'm going to turn that one over and bury it. 13th yesterday, 13th of August. And well, you could have been forgiven for thinking it was Friday the 13th, because apart from all the disasters that we had in our house, the Coast Guard and Aaron and I were out all afternoon yesterday. A guy, first of all, had come off a trial bike on Fleetwood Beach, and I don't know what today's update is, but apparently he was in quite a bad way. And then about an hour later, I'm sat working away in my office and thought that the helicopter overhead was going to land on our roof. And apparently I think there were 2 separate incidents of people getting cut off by the tide here, and then somebody in the sea at North Pier at Blackpool. So the RNLI and the Coast Guard were up and down like cat on hot bricks all day yesterday. So please, I know I keep saying this, every time I do a video, and I'm perhaps talking to the wrong people, but please respect the water. It's so dangerous. Can you see here, as you look across the beach, you can see that there's a sandbank there, and then there's the sea, and in between there's a dip, and that dip is going to fill in with water. And then as it carries on coming in, this dip here, where this little bit of water is going to fill in with water. So these people that are sat here on the sandbank facing the sea, looking that way, if they aren't aware of what's coming around the back of them, they're going to get cut off. And it comes in quickly, and they're going to be in for a deep wade, which is not too bad on a day like this, but believe me, you don't want to be doing it in November. So that's today's public service announcement. Just please take care. We want everybody to come to the seaside, have a lovely day out, and then go home in one piece with a smile on the face and a nice suntan. That's our aim. So now we've reached the main beach at Cleveleys. So this is the cafe, that's the venue, and that's where we've come from. So if you were to carry on walking that way, you would come next stop to Fleetwood. It's a few miles, but it's not that far. It's doable if you're reasonably fit. So this is Mary's Shell, if you're wondering what it is. Mary's Shell is a piece of sculpture that's part of the Mythic Coast Trail, and there's other videos on our YouTube channel about the Mythic Trail. So you can watch them. I'll put the link in the description for you, then you can watch them separately. And this is the northern end of Cleveleys Beach, and this groin is just nicely convenient for using as a sun trap and a seat to sit on. It's like Sandcastle City, isn't it? So this is Mary's Shell, and when the tide comes in, that's right underneath the sea. That's a good one. Wow, that's some sandcastle. I used to love building sandcastles. I'm not going to show it you because the family that have made it is sat right next to it. So Mary's Shell is joined by the Ogre, which is over here, and if it's not too muddy, we'll go and have a look at him on a sunny day, because last time we saw the Ogre it was quite early on in the year when all this coronavirus caper started. So the seafront at Cleveleys, if you're watching this and you've not been before, is parallel at 90 degrees to the high street. So the entire seafront, the sea defence looks like that. It steps all the way along. This is the end of it, and it carries on all the way to the end of the boundary of Cleveleys with Blackpool. So there's quite an extent of it. There's quite a space. And the Mythic Coast Trail is based on a children's storybook called The Sea Swallow. So Mary's Shell and the Ogre, and up there's a big paddle. They're all part of the same story. Let's see if we can pick our way across to the Ogre. It's a bit drier over here. We'll waddle through the wet. Tell you, that's why I've got my Crocs on. They might not be a fashion statement, but the number one comfy and number two, they're ideal for walking on this beach because it's not easy going on your feet, I can tell you that much. So here he is, our big stone friend, and periodically he gets a wash because obviously he's covered by the tide twice a day, so he ends up covered in algae. If you want to take a picture of him face on, the best time to do that is first thing in the morning, and then you'll get the sun on this side of him on his face, whereas the sun comes round that way, so it's obviously going to be at the back of his head most of the time. So that's your tip for photographing the Ogre. You'd be amazed how many people actually come down onto the beach photographing both the Ogre and the shell. In fact, Mary's Shell is possibly the most photographed thing in Cleveleys. So there are some leisure facilities as well on the seafront, which we are just walking up to now. So there's a gym and a view cinema, and there's also a park across the road here, which I'm going to go up the steps. You can see how deep the beach is and how much depth of water there is. When you think that on a high tide, it comes probably, well, I'll walk up the step and show you. Comes to probably about here on a normal high tide, and you can see how we've just walked up the steps and how underwater you would be. So this is the promenade, and it's like this all the way up to Cleveleys. And that. I'm just going to get up this step here and show you Jubilee Gardens. So this is Jubilee Gardens. There's a skate park for older kids, a multi-use games area for the ball games and that kind of stuff. There's a little playground there for smaller kids and a car park as well over there, which you can see is quite full at the minute. And then there are attractive seafront gardens. That's that big pub that I showed you when we were down on the beach, the venue. And that's the main promenade road. So if you were to follow that road that way, you would eventually come to Blackpool. Blackpool's about 4 or 5 miles away. Oh, it's warm, that. It's lovely. So, it became apparent that that a lot of people are watching these videos that are new to our YouTube channel, and we've been publishing Visit FYLDE Coast for the last 10 years, which is a suite of 8 websites that are all linked together about Fleetwood, Cleveleys, Poulton, Blackpool, St Anne's and Lytham. We send out a weekly email newsletter, which is a mine of information. If you're interested in this area, you need to sign up for that, because that really will keep you up to date. And we do Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and all that kind of stuff as well. So there's pretty much most things that you want to know in terms of general information about this super duper lovely place somewhere on Visit FYLDE Coast. So what you need to do next before you go off exploring is subscribe for our YouTube channel. Make sure that you've hit the bell for notifications, because then you'll know when we've uploaded new videos, instead of relying on Facebook managing to tell you. And don't forget to give this video a like as well. It's important that if you've enjoyed it, that you give it a like. And then the other thing that you can do is pop your comments and questions below, and we will do our best to tell you everything that you'll want to know. In fact, we're just about at the paddle, so I'll show you the paddle before we sign off. Up the creek without a paddle, as you might say. So that's the gym and the cinema, and that was open, Pizza Hut, until coronavirus started, so I don't know what they're doing with that. It's definitely closed. Yeah, so this is the paddle, and this is another one that's awkward to photograph if you want a good picture. If you want to photograph this side of it, you need to come in the morning, and if you want to photograph this side, now is a good time to do it. So there you are, seaweed on the front of it. Let me step back a bit, I'm a bit near. It's quite big. It's a very big paddle for a very big Ogre. So that's today's video from a beautiful, beautiful Cleveleys seafront on a lovely day. You need to soak this in and remember it for winter when the weather turns and it's foul, and that might be tomorrow actually. So you'll have a lovely day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and any comments and questions, pop them in the comments below. Have a lovely day. See you later. Bye.